Hello, welcome. I'm moving my hair because I'm wondering if you can hear me. We had a sound blip last week, so please let me know in the chat box how the sound is. And welcome to another live with Healing Tree with Danielle. Hello, Caitlin, is the sound okay? I'm crossing my fingers that it's better. Today's live is on the topic of the power of expression and healthy communication. All right, great. Thank you for letting me know. Good. So as I'm waiting for people to pop in, I'll just start by saying, welcome to my channel if you're new. And even if you've been here before and you have not yet subscribed, please do if you like my content because it helps me out a lot. Okay, so thanks for your support. So today's topic, healthy communication. Right away, we think about communication with others, which I feel like so many of the things I'm talking about here, there's always more than one aspect to it. Of course, that's life, right? So, same with healthy communication. You probably think about communicating with other people in your life, which is also so important. I'm a huge fan of healthy communication, just communication, period, with others, because I feel like that's how we can have healthy relationships. And that's how we can solve problems. And that's how we can understand each other. And that's how we can see from each other's perspective. So that's how we can open our minds more widely. So that's how we can be more creative. It has so many benefits. Communication. Welcome, Claudia. Good to see you. Good to see you there. So it has so many benefits, communication. I am a huge advocate and fan of communication, but it has to start with self first, right? So let's talk about that first. Maybe we don't hear about that so much. Having a healthy communication with myself. Now, if you think about a relationship with another, anyone, if we are in a fight, in an argument, if we are in disharmony in some way, the way to get back is through communicating, right? That's the only way. We need to find the way to communicate to each other. Good morning, Amy. So, same with self. When we are out of harmony and out of alignment with ourselves, we need to be able to communicate to get back. So why is this important here? Because this is whole channel is about emotional healing, and that's everything that I'm talking about. So if you want to heal emotionally, you need to get into harmony with your own feelings, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, aspects of your ego, all the different parts. We become so fragmented in life, and we become so disconnected. So the goal is to get back into harmony with ourselves. And I want us to use healthy communication with myself first to start this process. Like, okay, I'm struggling with something. So where do I need to communicate with myself differently? What kind of conversation do I need to have with myself to start to solve this? It's very important. So when you think about communication, I feel like there's two parts, right? There's expression, which I put in the title of this live, the power of expression. Because actually originally I was just thinking to talk about expression. But as I was preparing, I felt like a kind of message was coming to me about the other element of communication, which is listening. So we want to be able to do both with ourselves first. And if some of you are watching this and you're like, oh, I want to be able to communicate better with my partner, my friend, my boss, my family member, whoever, I'm recommending that it starts with yourself first. Having a conversation with someone who's not in communication with themselves is some we can't always solve the problem. That gets into another issue. So let's talk about that in a moment. So again, back to self. Being able to express to myself honestly what I'm feeling. The key to that is being in the feeling and being honest with myself. So I have to drop from my thoughts, from my mind activity into my body, into my feeling, into my heart center. I have to feel what's going on and then be able to express that honestly. That alone is a huge practice for people. And EFT can be really helpful with that. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But there's also this listening element. So, what am I expressing? We have to be able to tune into the feeling. So, it's listening not so much with ears, it's listening with my feeling, my senses, really connecting with what do I feel and allowing that feeling to present itself, sinking in. So many times we're afraid of our feelings. We don't like the uncomfortable ones, the bad ones. We don't want to go in there. But if you allow yourself to sink in, now you're listening. And so now you have exactly, you're getting like the honest information, the little nuggets for you to be able to express. Express to who? Express to yourself first. Express to yourself first. So again, I just feel like the world is so noisy. Social media is so noisy. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone around you has their stories, their opinion, their life. We it it's so important for our own inner healing and the health of our internal well-being, the health and harmony of our inner landscape, that we are listening to ourselves and able to express our feeling honestly. This is super healing. It's so simple and so hard at the same time. So, again, listening is the key. Allow yourself to feel, listen through the feeling, lean into the feeling as much as you can. Open your senses. What is this feeling? What is this feeling? Listen to your body, listen to your heart. What is this feeling? Give yourself permission to feel it without judging it. Think about it if you're in a therapeutic relationship with a counselor or a really good friend. They're holding space, right? That person, you continue to want to share and receive help from that person because they hold a space for you. They listen. They allow your feelings without any judgment. So we're practicing to do that to ourselves. Yes, healthy communication starts with ourselves. Listening and expressing with myself first before I go and need to do that with someone else. Now, if you're completely stuck and you need help, that's when you want to rely on those therapists, counselors, healers, coaches, good friends, anyone who you trust who will allow you to express without judgment. and who will listen. So that's an external modeling of what I want you to practice with yourself. So leaning in, listening, getting out of the thoughts because the thoughts will spin and spin and spin. They'll just never stop spinning. But when you drop into your heart and you start to be able to speak from the feeling, honestly, what's really in there, then you start to experience relief, release. Why? Because honest, non judgmental expression to yourself is an act of self acceptance. It is one form of it. Okay, so it might not be the complete end all be all. You may need other healing techniques, but this is a habit that I recommend everybody go back to over and over and over again. When there's a problem with myself, when there's a problem with myself and others, come back to communicating with myself first, listening and expressing what my honest feeling is. Okay, so how does EFT help with this? There's actually a technique, and EFT is a simple technique that it looks, we kind of just keep tapping in the same points and it looks very similar, but there's all kinds of little aspects and techniques to it. One of them is called tapping and talking. And it's something that I love because it's something that I've done for myself since my healing journey began. I wasn't necessarily tapping on these points 25 years ago. I was tapping on my chakras or all over my body, all the acupressure points, tapping as a way to bring my mind out of thoughts and into the feeling. So tapping is excellent for that. And then now I'm moving energy, which also helps quiet my mind and get me into my body. Key energy is like the bridge between your mind and your body. And now stuck energy is circulating. So I'm able to relax and drop in more. And that's helping me actually feel what my real feelings are instead of being so pulled outside of myself, so stuck on all the people and external things, or so stuck on all my thoughts and my perseverating about things. The energy starts moving, and now I can come into my body more. I can actually feel what I'm really feeling. So I love this tapping and talking technique. It's so easy. It's not something I can easily lead you through because it's very unique to you. It's very personal to you, but I can show you how it works. So we don't necessarily need a setup statement here. So we just start straight on the top of the head. And we just breathe and we start the conversation. So if you're doing this with me, I'm just going to keep tapping through the points and I want to give you space here to start to express, which means you need to breathe out and allow yourself to feel yourself in this moment, right now. What am I feeling? And start to express. Well, I feel a little anxious, feel a little nervous. I didn't know if the sound was going to work. And this is where you get to share, express your own, right? Because if you express my feelings, that's not going to bring you relief. But you just start to say it and you can say it out so honestly because there's no one around. So you don't have to worry about hurting or upsetting someone or saying it in the wrong way, making a mistake, or what if I don't really feel that? You just start to like free up your expression by having a conversation with yourself. It requires listening to your feeling and speaking it out honestly. Maybe you just start with your physical self. I feel a little tense in my shoulders. My palms are kind of sweaty. I feel worried. And then it goes deeper, right? Oh, I feel worried so easily. So many things to worry about. And then you keep going. Maybe you're upset about something. I'm upset about this, that, that person. They're not in the room, so you can speak it out. I mean, if you want to do it silently in your mind, that's fine. But I want you to free it up, your expression. And the reason why it's so important to be in the feeling is because if you're just doing it from your thoughts, you're not going to feel better. I don't know. I think this and that, or what that person said. Just feel. I felt upset when that person said that. I feel mad. And I keep saying I feel, but you can say whatever you want. How dare they do that? That hurt me. I don't like that. As you keep going, my only ask is you just stay in the feeling. Be careful. Be careful not to jump out of the feeling and go into blame, blaming that person, that thing. You can blame them a little, get it off your chest. They always do that. I hate it. It makes me feel what? Ooh, two hands. I usually use two hands. It makes me feel what? So coming back to the feeling. I feel tired and I feel sad. I don't like it. And this tapping and talking technique, I've heard it described as taking the edge off. So it becomes an opportunity for you to express to yourself. So you're beginning the process of acceptance. Expressing to yourself is a way of accepting because it comes after listening to yourself. So you're listening to yourself, you're validating yourself through listening and speaking it out in the feeling, in the feeling. So you can have a long conversation with yourself this way. I feel hurt. I don't like it. It's not okay. And you want to keep doing this until you start to feel some sense of release, a little bit of relaxation, or as I just mentioned, taking the edge off. So now I'm not as upset about it as I was before. This is the key. I'm allowing myself to feel it. I'm listening to my feeling. I'm speaking it out. And that's taking it down. And I'm accepting it more that I have all these feelings. Because as soon as you accept, I'm going to wrap up here. Let's pause again for a minute. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. So as soon as you accept, now you don't have to now if we start to expand this communication from myself to others, you don't have to go at that person with attack, blame, upset, anger, speaking from a place of hurt, speaking from a place of non acceptance. When you do that, you can do that. It's not going to go very well. If your desired outcome is to feel better, to be more at peace or at ease, to return to your joy and your happiness, to have resolve with that person, to recover harmony in that relationship. If that is your intended outcome, speaking from attack, blame, anger, upset is not going to help. And even if perhaps your desired outcome is simply, I need to express this to this person. I need for my own well-being, to return to my peace, there's something I really need to be able to say and communicate to this person, even if it's kind of messy. It's not it's not the greatest of news. I don't love that I have to say this or that I even feel this way. But if you even speak those things from a place of acceptance, the response will be different. The response from the other person will be different. Their ability to receive it or not will be different. And again, all people are different. All people are going through whatever they're going through. They're at whatever place they're at in their own emotional healing journey. So we never know. Oh, I'm seeing your message here, Amy. I feel overwhelmed by all of my feelings. So, if you can keep tapping and talking them out and just keep saying even that, I feel overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed by all of my feelings. I feel this feeling, this feeling, this feeling, this feeling. I feel overwhelmed by it. Keep getting down into the honest truth of what you feel and tapping and breathing and saying it out. Hopefully, that will help you start to come into a place of acceptance. Honest communication is just the beginning. Sometimes through honest communication, we can see, oh, I need some help with this. I need someone else to help me. And all of you know you can reach out to me anytime through a discovery call on my website. The link is below. Many of you know how to contact me through email or Facebook, or perhaps it's not me, perhaps it's someone else. Sometimes we need help. Help is everywhere. But keep practicing. Even if you have someone else helping you, even if you have multiple people helping you with your emotional healing, keep practicing to have these conversations with yourself. Maybe, Amy, you feel so overwhelmed because you need more conversation with yourself. Your feelings are telling you, they're shouting at you, Amy, we need you to hear us. We need you to feel us. We need you to listen. And we need you to get this off your chest. We need you to speak up your truth, let yourself freely express. This is so hard to do with other people because always in front of other people, we worry, right? How are they going to react? What are they going to say to me? They're not going to like it. I shouldn't say it this way. We have a lot of rules. We have a lot of judgment. And yes, there are natural etiquettes. And yes, people in general have a hard time with healthy communication. So it's not often that you're going to get the response you want and need, but you want to practice with yourself first, expressing to yourself and giving your own self the response that you want and that you need. And then you get to feel, oh, that's how it feels. Let me practice now then to express. Once I've cleared it with myself, let me practice to express with another. For a future live, do you have techniques for healthy communication with narcissists? Honestly, that is probably a talk for another day, but we have a little time, so I can address it here. It is not, okay, how can I say this? How can I say this? How can I communicate this well? Here's what I want to say in all honesty. I don't think it's possible to have truly healthy communication with narcissists. I don't think it's possible because, okay, let me give an extra to that. If you are expecting something healthy back from them, because narcissists don't have a healthy relationship with themselves or their inner world. Narcissism is the manifestation of their own wound and they have not healed that wound yet, which is why we would maybe call them a narcissist. Even if they're not a textbook narcissist, but they're showing narcissistic behavior, it's because there's something they have not healed inside, and they have not they're out of harmony with themselves. So if you are looking for healthy communication, like response back, I don't think it's possible to find it. Yes, that's right. They don't. So, in my personal experience with a narcissist, I will not name any names or give more details, but I needed 2 years, 2 years to communicate with myself everything that was hurting inside. I needed 2 years to accept, to process, to feel, to breathe, to allow again and again and again and again and again and again and again until I concluded that person cannot give me what I want. And the problem here is I want something from them. I want a certain kind of response. I want a certain kind of behavior. I want a certain kind of reconciliation. With narcissism, a lot of times we feel a little bit crazy because their communication is really misaligned. Like what they say and what they do and what you feel, none of it matches. So it can be a little crazy making. So I needed time to zoom way in and own my part, which was I want you to make sense. I want you to hear me. I want you to apologize. I want you to understand my feeling. I had all these wants. My healing came when I let go of all of them. When I realized, oh, my wanting is the problem. My wanting something from you. You cannot give me what I want. For sure, you cannot. Because I have tried to get it this way and that way, and by saying it like this and showing like that and trying like this. I tried all the ways, for sure. You may feel like there's still some way and I'm not realizing it, but I can tell you, you can't get what you want. But what you can do, narcissists like aside, you can have healthy communication with yourself. And if you feel there is something you must express to that person, only because it will make you feel better, only because you need to empower yourself by speaking your truth, not for them and not to get something from them, but only for you, then you can practice to express in a at least semi neutralized way, where you've at least come into acceptance about this whole thing. You've let go of wanting, and now you're just ready to speak your truth to let it lie. You don't ever know what they're going to come back with, and that might spin you back into reaction. So, we don't want to, healthy communication is not based from reaction. It's based from processing and becoming very conscious about what I wanna say and how I would like to respond. So, communicating with yourself is so much easier because with people in general, we tend to want something back, and that's where the communication becomes problematic. And with narcissists, it's even harder. Okay, I see a lot of comments here. Let me see. For a future, okay, thank you. I agree, and it's still hard and frustrating. That's it. They don't have a healthy relationship with themselves, correct? So maybe practice not taking their behaviors, I think, personally. Absolutely not taking their behaviors personally. But it's not personal. It's their behavior. It has nothing to do with you. So that's another thing to let go of, to realize, to awaken to. This doesn't have anything to do with me. This is This is what you are dealing with. And I can only just do my best. I can show up the way that feels good for my heart, my conscience. I can speak the truth that feels good for me. I can't do anything about what you do next. It's also not my issue. It doesn't mean anything about my worth and value. So probably there's an entanglement there. I need to accept that they can yes, you need to accept that you cannot get anything that you want from that person if they have narcissistic tendencies, not until they've done a lot of work, a lot of work. Sometimes, yeah, people who are not even so-called narcissistic, but we the realization is, I can't get what I want. It's not possible. So, can I accept that? Do I need to walk away? Can I be okay with this? Sometimes it's perfectly okay. I still love you, but I can communicate with you so I can listen. Some things I'll share with you. As long as I know there's nothing you as long as I know that you can't give me something that in my heart I'm wanting and needing from you. Rather, I just realize you can't give that to me and that's okay. I can give it to myself. It's okay. I don't so it's a this goes deeper and deeper. So when we do emotional healing work, we unpeel these layers, and there's these parts of ourselves that we need to embrace. Like, there's a wanting part. Yeah, she's needing something. I need to listen to her, be with her. Maybe I even need to express her wants and needs, but realizing not all the people can give them to me, can meet me there. Maybe nobody can. Or maybe I'm going to walk away and find another person. Or maybe this is good enough. You will decide with each person who you know. I know we're talking about narcissism here, but with narcissists, uh, I don't think so. I don't think so. We can't get what we want until we let go of wanting, and then that person is just fine. They don't bother us anymore. My wanting them to be different is the problem. Yes, I'm glad you're I'm glad somewhere in all of what I said, you are starting to see. If you can really feel that and make a shift there, healing is close. That was the big turning point for me in my healing my relationship that I had with a person who I felt wasn't I don't know if they were like a textbook narcissist or they just had narcissistic tendencies that were very obvious and very confusing for me for a long time. When you're trying to be honest and sincere and trust people's words and actions, narcissism gets really messy. It doesn't quite mm, there's a disconnect for them. Jenny, sorry I've been quiet here today. My boss is a narcissist, and after 3 years, we seem to have found a way to communicate. That's great, Jenny. I'm glad to hear that. I think tapping out all of my wants. Good, Amy. Good. Yeah. So use tapping and talking like that. That's also great, healthy communication, right? I want this. I want this. I want this. I want this. You can't even put, in your mind, imagine the person in front of you and tap and talk all the things until you will start to see. So, this is another thing that I love about tapping as we are doing it and our mind is dropping inside and energy is moving and we're speaking, we're being honest with our feelings, our own inner wisdom awakens. It turns on. It comes online and then starts to give you clarity. Oh, this was the issue. Oh, that was the sticking point. Oh, this is why I couldn't it wasn't getting better. I wasn't admitting this part. I wasn't realizing this part. Your inner wisdom will show you. Yeah, it's amazing. So a lot of what we're doing here is I'm just encouraging you, helping you, guiding you to get into contact with your own inner wisdom. And many times these things that I'm saying, they go in and they're just in there. And then when you are ready and you get down deep and you can kind of unbutton or release something, everything integrates. All the things you heard, whether it was me or all the amazing speakers, authors, teachers, coaches out there, it all integrates at some moment sometimes, different moments when you get clarity. So I really recommend EFT for with tapping and talking because that can be a time where things start to integrate. You need space. You need space to allow yourself to speak and give yourself time to hear yourself and speak yourself. And that alone is the healthy communication that I want you to have with yourself. And it's a foundation for healthy communication with others. It is the key. And I'm not an expert on communication. I'm not an expert on relationships, but I can tell you that I practice this all the time. And from my own life's trauma, I have many parts that are out of harmony. And my emotional healing journey is bringing those parts back into harmony. So I constantly communicating with myself. And I'm constantly bumping in communication with others and realizing I have to go back and communicate more. And then I can return and find the harmonious communication again. It's amazing to see how other people change when I change. Communication with them becomes easy once I've gone back. Something that was really just conflict and couldn't see the way out, I go back, communicate more, always practicing. I really want to have a healthy internal ecosystem. I want to be in harmony with myself and all the parts of me. So I realize listening and expressing is so healing for those parts. And then that affects my relationships. I have healed I've shifted multiple different relationships with people, multiple through doing the work with myself. Not all, not all, because some people just are the way they are. They're they're maybe stuck where they are, or they're stuck in their perspective, and I can't see their perspective because they are unable or unwilling to share. But this is communication, right? We're letting other people know this is how it makes me feel, and then they see our perspective, and then everything changes when you stand in another person's shoes. Big healing can happen, big healing. So it's the willingness to want to stand in their shoes. Again, might be a conversation for another day. First, we have to have the willingness to want to listen to myself completely and allow myself to feel it, all the feelings, and speak them and hear them and harmonize with yourself and give yourself time for that. You might feel that after just a few minutes, there's a shift, or you might feel repeat, 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 repeat. Be patient with your process. Okay. I'm glad this was helpful for you, Amy. We're getting towards 40 minutes here, so I'm going to close out. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much for liking and subscribing to my channel. And you are welcome anytime to share further thoughts, requests, comments, questions in the chat, in the comment section anytime. I very much enjoy this communication with you. My word of the week is patience. There you go. Patience is the key. Just keep at it patiently. And when you are ready, at the very right moment, there will be, as we said, the shift, the integration, the clarity. But just to finish here with you, Amy, in this conversation, yeah, speak out the wants, speak it out loud, and then recognize that person is unable to give it to me, and if you can accept that, there's you're you're gonna be going in a really good direction at an even faster speed. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Oh, and next week I will be on vacation. I'll make sure to send an email reminder. No live next week. So see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much. Bye bye.